Hello children, welcome back to our session. I hope you all are enjoying all our teaching videos. Okay, if you're watching on YouTube, you can post a comment that yes, you are interested for more teaching videos. Of course, you all will be interested because this is the only way you can learn. So, children, we have completed Unit 1 teaching. You can watch those videos. Okay, they are already installed in our app. So here, I just got to know, it came into my notice that Unit 1 grammar explanation is skipped in our videos. So this video is on exclusively made for grammar. Please come to page number 7 in your textbook. Page number 7. I want you all to be ready with your pencils because pencil is important. You need to write here and there whatever the important concept is asked to write. Okay? Yes, I hope you all are doing perfect with all these question and answers. Here we have 8 questions given. I already informed you all to complete answering these question and answers before itself when I released my video. So here I'm starting with bit number 2, page number 7, bit 2. Read the following paragraph and analyze it in terms of cause and effect, consequence. One has been done for you. One example is given. Before doing that, we should know the meaning of what is this cause and effect and consequence. And a paragraph is also given here, children. From this paragraph, you have to read, understand, and from this paragraph, you should write cause and consequence. Okay. Let me take the current situation as our example. Corona is cause. What is the consequence? Schools are all closed physically. Yes, parks are closed. Theaters are closed. Of course, they are getting themselves prepared to reopen again. But now, as of now, they are closed. And we all are wearing masks. That is also consequence. What is the cause? Because of something is happening. Okay, because of corona. What is the cause? Because of corona. In because itself, the word cause is hidden. Observe here. Because of corona. Yes, see, you can see here cause. So what is the cause here? Corona is cause. Then what is the consequence? Consequence means result. Okay, what is the result? We all are wearing mask. Okay, using sanitizers. Okay, taking all necessary steps to be healthy. We are also consuming vitamin C tablets, iron capsules. Yes, all those are consequences. I hope I am clear in explaining cause and consequence. Cause, because cause is already there hidden in this word because. So this is cause. Corona is cause. What is the consequence of corona? The result is wearing mask. Clear, children? Okay. So you understood what is cause and consequence. So here now we have to read this paragraph bit up. What is this paragraph? The animals in the forest were friendly. So the jackal could not eat any animal. What is the cause here? Animals are friendly in forest. Yes, all the animals in the forest were friendly. This is already given here, see. And what is the consequence? What is the result of that? Jackal could not eat any animal. Because animals in the forest were friendly. What is the result? Consequence, jackal could not eat any animal. Jackal could not hunt any animal. Okay, clear, Nana? First cause and consequence is complete. Let us go to the second one. The jackal then thought of a plan and implemented it. What is that thought? And how did it implement? Let us see. The animals started suspecting each other as the jackal's plan worked. The life in the forest became dull because there was no musical evenings. Because, what do you remember as soon as you see this word because? Because is cause. Cause, what is the cause here? No musical evenings. No musical evenings. Then what is the consequence? That's why. What is the result, Nana? Because there is no musical evenings. What is the result? Result means consequence. What happened? The life in the forest became dull. Life in the forest became dull. So here in this second block, you will write this point. Okay? And the third one I will not tell you. I want you all to read, trace out where this cause is, consequences. And you have to complete this. Write with pencil. If any error, if any grammatical mistake, you can edit it easily. Okay, beta? Fine. So let us go to the third bit. This is really interesting, my dear little ones. Rearrange the following sentences in the order of their occurrence in the story. That means here you should arrange it in chronological order. Chronological order means not 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is something. So I'll tell you one story. A story will be shared with you. Okay. So in that story, let me tell sentence A happens first, then B, then C, then D. Okay. These are sentences. But here in our bit number 3, how did they arrange these sentences? They arranged it like C, B, D, A. They arranged it like this. Our order given in our textbook is like this: C, D, D, A. But what we should do? We should rearrange them in proper order. Means what is the order? A, B, C, D. Don't see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Read them completely, understand their meaning, what happens first and what happens next and next and next. You understand and write their numbers here. Roughly you write numbers, then read them again in that order what you have prepared. If you feel that is perfect, you can move on with that answer. Otherwise, you have to change again. That's why I always use pencil for this. It is a little time-taking process, but you will enjoy doing this. Okay, Nana? So let us go to the first. Okay, here is the first sentence. They gave us help also, children. First sentence is already given to us. What is that? The animals and the birds were living happily together. This is the first sentence. After that, I'm not going to tell you. In textbook itself, they gave you hint. After that, you should understand. If you are unable to frame this properly, no problem, Nana. Don't get tensed. Read the lesson once again. Understand it. Then automatically you will frame these sentences in order. And before reading this lesson, you have to watch a teaching video also. That will help us out very nicely. Okay. Next, let us go to the part vocabulary. Let us go to the part vocabulary. Read the following sentences from the story. Okay, so these sentences are from story. They are given from the story itself. So I can see here a few words underlined. Let us see what it is. Whenever any word is found underlined, don't just directly go read that word. Read that whole sentence. When you read that whole sentence, then automatically you will understand the meaning of that sentence, and that helps you in understanding the exact or accurate meaning of the underlined word. Okay, Nana? So, they heard a soft voice. Soft is underlined. They heard a soft voice. He was dirty and dangerous. Dirty and dangerous. Who was dirty and dangerous? I think they're talking about jackal, right? That cunning fox, jackal, dirty and dangerous. See the above underlined sentence, the above underlined word soft and the second sentence dirty and dangerous. These three words, underlined words, are looking like adjectives. What do you say, children? Are they not looking like adjectives? They are looking like adjectives because all these words, soft, dirty, and dangerous, they are describing something. They are adding more to something. Yes, some noun. See, dirty and dangerous is about fox. So about fox, jackal. Jackal is a noun. So they are describing or they are adding something more to jackal. So definitely these words are adjectives. Maybe here they are trying to teach us adjectives. Let's read the third sentence as well. It was easy for the jackal to hunt the smaller animals and birds. Smaller animals, not big animals, small animals. What kind of animals? Small animals. What kind of animals? Small animals. That means here also that is adjective to the noun animals. Animals here is noun and this word smaller is adjective. Okay. The jackal told the elephant, you are the biggest animal in the forest. Biggest is also again adjective. Adjective to elephant. Okay. And what is the next one? He said to the peacock, you are the loveliest bird in the forest. Loveliest. Loveliest bird. Bird is noun again. Loveliest is an added feature. So loveliest is also adjective. So finally, see, they have given here. The underlined words are called adjectives. Okay. All these underlined words are called adjectives. Let us go to the first one. They come either before or after a noun. What is that they are talking about here? They come either before or after a noun. See here, soft voice, dirty and dangerous jackal. Dangerous jackal. Jackal is noun. Dangerous word is just before jackal, means before. Before. So before noun we are getting adjectives. The same way after also we get. For example, here they have given few examples. They come either before or after a noun. A tall boy. Boy is tall. Tall boy means it is coming before. Boy is tall means it is coming after. Before or after, that word is considered as adjectives. Okay. See, a very tall boy. They have degrees of comparison, positive, comparative and superlative degrees. So we got to know about adjectives. Adjectives means they add more meaning to nouns or pronouns. So what is this degrees of comparison? Degrees of comparison means that a comparison is at what level? See, I'll write here. Degrees of comparison. Okay, so here at what level is this comparison? Okay, so here what do we have? We have positive, comparative. I write it shortcut, children, because the space is not sufficient. And the next one is superlative. Okay, positive, comparative and superlative. For example, let us take tall. Rama is a tall boy. Tall boy, talking positive about a boy. Who? Rama. About Rama, we are talking in a positive way. So what is that called? Positive comparison. That's why, what is this degree of comparison? Positive. Tall comes under positive. Okay. Next, comparative degree of comparative degree. Okay, positive, comparative and superlative degrees. Yes, Next comes to comparative degree. Comparative degree, compare. Can you listen this word compare hidden in this comparative degree? Compare means when we are comparing students or things or whatever it is, that adjective what we use that comes under comparative degree. For example, there are two boys, Rama and Krishna. Okay, here Rama is tall, Krishna is little shorter than Rama. Okay, Rama is tall, okay, and Krishna is of this height. Who is tall here? This Rama is tall, Krishna is little short. So I want to compare heights of Rama and Krishna. How do I tell now? I want to talk about Rama. Rama is taller than Krishna. Okay, Rama is taller than Krishna. So here I am comparing. What is that adjective I used here? Taller. Whenever we are comparing, ER to this positive degree adds. Okay, TALLER, taller. Rama is taller than Krishna, or Krishna is shorter than Rama. But here what is this? Tall is written. So what will be tall? When we want to write comparative degree of tall, it will become taller. It becomes taller. And what will be the superlative degree? Superlative degree means we are talking super about that man. Super means that is the extreme. That is a dead end. That is the end. Okay. For example, here Vishnu is also there. Okay. Here Vishnu is also there. Rama, Krishna and Vishnu. These are heights. Rama is at this height, Krishna is at this height, and Vishnu is at this height. So now I want to talk who among this is the tallest one. Who is tallest one? Rama is the tallest one in this group. Rama is the tallest child in the class. Okay. Rama is the tallest one, means that is the end. I'm not talking about any other child's height. I'm just telling who is the tallest one. So this tallest comes under superlative degree. Okay, positive, comparative and superlative degree of comparisons. Okay, I hope I'm clear with the degrees of comparison. Tall, taller, tallest. Short, shorter, shortest. Beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. Okay, all these are called degrees of comparison. These degrees of comparison are given in page number 8 in your textbook. Page number 8 in your textbook. Okay, children, am I clear? If you have any doubts in any of the concepts, you can text a message. I will definitely reply to you all. Okay, you can get in touch with your principals or your teachers. They will also help you in clarifying your doubts. Just drop a message to any one of us. We will definitely help you out. Okay. Next, page number 9. Let us move to page number 9. Read the following paragraph carefully. Underline all adjectives and write the other degrees of comparison for them. Okay, here they asked us to read this paragraph very keenly and underline all the adjectives and write degrees of comparison. For example, here what did they give me? The word tall. Okay, so I wrote 3 degrees of comparison here. Tall, taller, tallest. If the word is small, I will write a small, smaller, smallest. Okay, so here they added more. In this paragraph, you should read, you should identify where adjectives are, underline them and write degrees of comparison. Okay, I want you all to do this task, children. Fine? And coming to the second bit in this page, read the following words. Each pair has one word and the other word is its opposite in meaning. So here they gave us opposites. We know this is a very interesting one. We always like to write opposites. And this one we are writing from our class 1. And here whatever the words are given are also Very simple, very routine words, very, very simple words. Okay, big, small, dark, light, happy, unhappy, large, small, life, live, die, long, short, near, far, open, close. Okay, there are a few more. All these are opposites in meaning. Okay, so here there is another interesting task given to us. What is that? Fill in the blanks in the sentences given below and write opposite in the meaning to the ones in bold letters. See here, first sentence. The elephant's eyes are small. Small. If you see this word small, it is highlighted. It is given in bold. It is dark, right? Isn't it dark, children? Small. Only this word is in dark, given in dark. So, what should you write here in blank? You should write opposite to this word highlighted or given in bold. Small. What is the opposite word for small, children? Big. And of course, the meaning is also giving you automatically the answer. The elephant's eyes are small, but its body is big. Okay, so here 5 bits are given. I already gave answer for the first one. So second, third, fourth and fifth, I want you all to do. Already clues are given here in this box. Like what I read out, big, small, dark, light, happy, unhappy. Yes, I want you all to complete this one also. Okay, coming to the third bit. The following pair of words are similar in meaning. Pick out such pairs from the story you have just read. So here there are a few pairs which are already given in our textbook. So those you have to read again the textbook and you have to round up which one did you find in your textbook. Okay, here we have again grammar part in page number 10. So I don't think we will be able to complete this in this class, but let me move on. Read the following sentence. The elephant is bigger than the donkey. Bigger, underline. Big, bigger, biggest, bigger. Which degree of comparison, children? Which degree of comparison? It is comparative degree. The donkey is not so big as the elephant, not so big as the elephant. In the above sentences, the elephant and the donkey are compared with respect to their size. According to their size, they are compared. The word big and bigger are adjectives that are used to compare their size. Okay, clear now? Here is some information about a group of pupils in 6th class. Pupils means students. Here there is information given about 6th class students. So name of the students is given, age is given, height is given and weight is also given. Now again another task. Now make 20 sentences comparing the ages, heights and weights of the students as shown in the examples given below. Harini is as tall as Raghava. So they compared this height 4.9. Harini's height. So whose is 4.9 again here? Raghava's height is also 4.9. So Harini is as tall as Raghava. Now height is over. Now let us go to weight. Harini's weight is 27. Is there any child whose weight is 27 kgs? Yes, 27. Last but 3. Vamshi. Vamshi's weight is also 27. So Harini and Vamshi's weight is same. Who is heavier than Harini? 27. Anybody? 28. Akila is 28. Rajesh and Raghava is also 28. Then Sidhu is 35. Manoj is 30. Seshagiri is also 30. So Harini is not as heavy, is not so heavy as Raghava. What is Raghava's age? 28. So Raghava and Harini's weight is not same. They are not weighing same. Raghava is 1 kg heavier than Harini. So that's why they gave here as Harini is not so heavy as Raghava. Okay, the same way you should add on more and more sentences. Now you should make 20 sentences comparing their age, heights and weights. Okay, try out. If we try, everything is possible. Okay, next one. Look at the following sentences, paying special attention to the underlined words. They are asking us to read the sentence, and at the same time, we should pay attention to the underlined words itself. What are those? The tiny ants which were always busy tickled the dark buffaloes. Always is underlined. Always busy. Always busy. What is busy? Busy is verb. Okay. They often held musical evenings in a large open field. Often held. Held is also verb. Hold, held. Action word. Verb. Often is telling more about verb held. Often held. So often underlined word can be called as adverb. Adjective tells more about nouns and pronouns. Adverb tells more about verbs. Okay. So here I think we are talking about adverbs. The underlined words are adverbs, which tell us how often something happens. Okay. They are called adverbs of frequency. Frequency. If we go to any railway station or if we go to bus station, there we'll ask what is the frequency of this bus or what is the frequency of train. Means how often they come and go. How often the work takes place. Okay, how often. They are called adverbs of frequency. How many times they happen. Okay, the duration and all that. Read the following passage and underline the adverbs of frequency. Those adverbs which tell about time should be underlined. Okay, try it out, you will understand. Busy taxi driver, busy. He never finds time to read books, finds time. Okay, this way I want you all to complete this paragraph and then look at the conversation between two friends, Murthy and Krishna. Fill in the blanks with always, never, often, seldom, sometimes. Always. Always means, let me clean this board and I'll write the meanings here so that you can do this easily by yourself. So what is this always? Always means every time. Okay, what is the next word? Never. Never means it never happens. Never. Okay. In Hindi, kabhi nahi. In Telugu, eppudu kaadu. Okay, never. Next one is often. Often. Often means quite often, means repeatedly. Repeatedly. What is the next one? Seldom. Seldom means very rare. Very rarely. Rarely. In Telugu means eppudaina okasari. Okay, in Hindi, kabhi. Okay. Because of you, I'm learning Hindi also. Okay, next one is sometimes. Sometimes. In Telugu, eppudaina. Okay, sometimes. So using these words, understanding the meaning, you should fill up these blanks. Okay, children. Then what is there here? Invitation card. The preparation is given. You can watch this video. Already we have placed this video. So you can watch invitation card preparation video and you will understand very clearly. One complete session of 30 minutes, I think, was done on this preparation of invitation. So don't skip watching that for better understanding. So the balance part will be done in the next session. Already we covered 31 minutes. So let's wind up with the session for today. And let us catch up again with more interesting topics very, very shortly. Okay. Until then, stay safe, children. Take care.